Hello, welcome everyone to World Watercolour Day 2025. We're here, Rivergrove. We have one in attendance. Healthy and right. Dogan, Atanur Dogan is also here somewhere. So we're here setting up for our live projections of our demos. We've got cake, we've got coffee, we've got the Atanur Dogan table selling all the brushes, and we're going to have Rockwell come pretty soon as well. That's on the way. In the meantime, let's get adjusted here, and we'll talk to people in attendance so far. We've got Tati, we have Rita, Monica, Svetlana, Irina, and Eric so far in the Zoom call. So Tati, why don't you tell us about your new adventures with Aquarelle DC? And I'll also mention that Tati and Marcia are now the new Quebec area representatives for IWS Canada and have been doing quite a bit locally. They had a recent little outing at the Biosphere, the Botanical Gardens in Montreal. Perfect on a cold Montreal day, I'm sure.
No, yes, it was wonderful and people loved it. And Ian was with us too for a couple of minutes. It was great. People were really positive about seeing your work because a lot of people that are in IWS, they know you, but not your watercolors. Oh, it froze.
Oh, yeah, hold on. There we go.
So a lot of people were really happy to see your watercolors as they know you only as the president of IWS. And they really loved it. And it is a lovely day. Like we try to organize it once a month and more people are joining us. And I think it's lovely, right? When you're just around in the city and you see how people love art and how art really unites us, right? Whenever people see us painting, there's always somebody that will come and talk to people and check and look at the paintings at the end, you know? And this is really rewarding, really rewarding. Thank you, Ian.
And it looks like a beautiful area there, the botanical garden. No, I lived in Montreal for 2 years. I never visited the botanical gardens there.
That is wrong.
It's gorgeous. Yeah.
It is gorgeous. No, you haven't seen anything. Seriously.
Oh, yeah.
It is gorgeous. But you soon the summer, we probably will go there quite a few times.
That'll be great. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Monica, do you have anything new to report?
Nothing new at the moment. Still working on tying up loose ends from last year and organizing. It's surprising when you're an artist how much time cataloging and inventorying your art. And I use an Excel spreadsheet for cataloging. And I don't know what the rest of you use, but I have everything numbered so that if someone is inquiring to purchase a piece, I know exactly when it was painted, the size, what type of cold press or hot press paper I used at that time, and etc. So that all takes a lot of time when I'd rather be painting. So wish I could have been there in Quebec, but can't travel this year. But I love watching all your adventures. So thank you for sharing those.
They've been doing a great job over there. Marcia and Tati, they've so much energy and so much passion for watercolor. And yeah, a lot of great things there. So we're very proud to have them as our Quebec representatives for IWS Canada. Oh, here's the one sitting sitting over here. Just joined the chat. So we've got cake, we've got all kinds of stuff. He's going to set up the live projections for the oh, he can do it through his account. Live projections for the demos. I have them also on my computer. Anyways, lots of technical stuff we're sorting out here. Rita is joining us from Belgium. Her first time here because she's 6 hours ahead. So it's usually too late for her to join. So I don't know if you have to leave early because of that, but do you want to tell us now? Tell us some of the stuff you're doing and what's new over there.
Oh, I'm just preparing a solo exhibition for May, next May.
Very nice. Has everyone seen
You-
Rita's paintings? She was on the cover of the last magazine. Very gorgeous, very high definition, lots of portraits, very refined style.
Yes, thank you. But for the rest, there is nothing new.
Do you have any work with you at the moment?
Yes, I have the two last ones. I can show.
Yeah, that would be great.
Oh, I don't know how to put it.
It's great.
Maybe.
Really lovely.
Maybe like that. I don't know.
Very nice.
Yes.
So refined.
And then
And Rita's been featured in several magazines.
little bit vintage.
Now, how do you get such a soft look to your watercolors?
Oh, I always work with layers, multi-layering. Sometimes, oh, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 layers.
This is just two of them. It's from Turkey. This is 10th anniversary. This is another festival. There is maybe more.
Okay. All right. So Rita, anything more you want to tell us about what's going on in Belgium?
No, only
What's
that
going on
I'm
new
very
with you?
happy. Only that I'm very happy to be able to be there with you today. And
Yeah, we're happy to have you.
yes, at a suitable, less or more suitable time for Belgium. So okay, that's it.
Great. Thank you, Rita.
You're welcome.
Okay. Svetlana. Monica, did I call you on you yet? I know you spoke already.
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Do
I'm
you have
finished.
anything more? Okay. Svetlana,
Hello, everybody. How are you?
how are you?
Congratulations on IWS anniversary, first of all, and all the best. Yeah, paint more, enjoy it. And I have biggest news in my family. My son proposed to his girlfriend, and
Wonderful.
she's a beautiful girl. I cannot wait to them to become husband and wife.
Wonderful.
So it was very exciting. It's the
Yeah.
biggest for today. And of course, now I have a task to do. I'm doing invitation template for invitations for a wedding. So I can show you what I came up with. So this is, I don't know if you can see.
Very nice.
Yeah, you please tell me which one is better you think.
Okay, you have a few.
Yeah, another one is this type of invitation. Ooh,
Nice.
big one. And last one, it's not completely finished yet. I will do some frame, but it's this type of in blue color. And what else? I really enjoy winter because I have so much time to paint and I just doing it all day from dusk to dawn. So
Oh yeah.
I can show you, yeah, first time in my life I've tried to paint on big size of paper, like 16 by 20. To me, it's a big one. So I can show you what I've done so far. Peonies.
Oh, very nice.
I took a picture from my peonies in my garden. And another one, yeah, this
Beautiful.
forgot name of begonias, I believe, yeah. So this, I planted it myself and I really like it. So I did it twice already. So keep coming back to it. Well, just to see if I improved a little bit. Otherwise, it's been great. Yeah. Really, really nice to see you, everybody. It's all.
Okay. All right. Just adjusting the camera here. All right. Who's next? Irina. Oh, there we go. Oh, you're muted. We can't hear you, Irina.
Okay, yeah.
Great.
Which one? So congratulations to all artists with this big day, watercolor, International Watercolor Day, and I'm so glad to participate. I am not so often participate in our meetings, but I want to be more often. And thank you very much, Ian, for your job.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I like as a all artist, I paint. I try to paint a lot. In the winter, it's a good time, but in Kelowna here we don't have a lot of sun. So yeah, it's always gray, but yeah. So and sometimes I paint summer from my custom orders. Houses as always, and still paint winter. And sometimes I imagine winter because in Kelowna we don't have any snow. Yeah. So and I am going to finish my big project. The name of this project is Pollinators in a City, and one of the paintings I want to show you. This one.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so this is 14 will be 14 paintings. It's a big size with bumblebees and butterflies in scenes or city. So this is in downtown in Kelowna. So and the main subject, like a song for this series of paintings will be how we need to keep pollinators, because it's a like survival things for us. Yeah. So yeah. So this is my job.
Great. Thank you, Irina.
Thank you.
Okay, who's next? Yuan.
Hi everyone. Haven't been doing too much painting lately. Just have to worked on to one is just the winter like snow scene. This one here, and then there's another flower for this one, and that's it.
Beautiful. Thank you. Let's see. Gary, is it Jerry or is it Gary? Jerry Nickel. Or Gary Nickel. Jerry. Okay, let's get back to him. Eric. Are you there, Eric? We're getting lots of echo. Yeah, the one. Can you push mute on your computer? Let me see. Do this. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Patricia. Patricia, are you there? Okay, why don't we get on with our ceremony then? Okay, Patricia has nothing today. In that case, why don't we get along with our ceremony? Atanur, do you want to, I'll give a quick... Sure.
Showing videos, you know what we have?
At 1:30, we can...
Yes.
What?
Picture of cake.
Okay. We can share it to my computer, I think. Do AirDrop.
Wait, you accept it?
Oh, I did it. Line. Okay, we have a picture of the cake here. I'll share that. Well, why don't I just video the cake? We're thinking, well, it's bigger. Okay, so here's Luan. Luan's here in attendance. Dogan. Here's the cake. We have all the leftovers from Rockwell IWS cake, and we have the official cake today. Yeah, for those gifts, we're going to send you the virtual. Yeah, the virtual cake. It's all grapes and cheese and chocolate. So if you're not here, you live nearby, then definitely come out. We're at the Rivergrove Community Centre, 5800 Rivergrove Avenue, Susan Burt Auditorium, which is the right-hand side of the building. You'll see it as soon as you enter the doors. You'll see the sign for IWS Canada. We'll be doing playing some videos of some demos. We're going to have Rockwell in attendance pretty soon as well, and we have Atanur with his complete assortment of brushes and books, all kinds of great stuff. We have many people in attendance. Fun to the rest of the society. So we're going to have some videos of Atanur's demos. We're going to have Luan and myself as well. I have brought materials to do a live demo for the people in attendance during, if there's time, that is, during the videos that we're playing. We have some live speeches coming up pretty soon as well. And of course, we have our Zoom call going live on our Zoom. If you're a member of IWS Canada, check your emails. There's a link to the Zoom link on that. We've got a good 15 people or so at the moment, more joining as we speak. Atanur is just joining now as well. Okay. All right, we have 5 minutes to the official beginning of our ceremony. At 1:30, I'll give a pre-speech and I'll introduce Atanur, and maybe you can show his video, show his demo.
Yes, I will. Thank you.
Okay, before we do that, does anyone else have anything they want to present? Anyone in our Zoom chat? Let's see.
Just show you what I'm working on.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now,
please,
just a
please,
portrait.
please. Sure.
Yay.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Thank you. It's a
Wow.
commission, and I think it's lovely because it's always the nice thing about doing portraits, right? It's just sometimes you meet some very lovely people around. Anyways, but that's about it. Working on the portraits. Yours will be coming too, Ian, Selena's, and our Mexico trip people. But
Right.
I have to work on that in the future a little bit because I
Mhm.
have commissions to finish by then. But I will be back with the portraits. I will be back with the portraits.
Oh, we have our full screen up now. So you're live in Mississauga. Okay. All right. Are you ready, Atanur? You ready? I'll give a little speech and I'll introduce you and you can give a speech. What? Oh, they're waiting still for some? You're waiting still?
Yes.
Okay.
Just video, we can start showing.
Sure, we can start showing some videos. Do you want to show Atanur's videos? I have them here on my computer. Okay, we're going to start off. We're still waiting for a few more people to join us locally. So we're going to start off with Atanur's segment of the show. We have some videos from him, previously recorded demos. You can see his very vibrant style, very colorful, very rich, very expressive. And we have some video clips of him I'm going to share for you right now. Starting off with our intro to World Watercolour Day. Hold on a sec.
There isn't any sound from the video. Is that how it should be?
What? Yeah. Sound? So second, people hear the sound there? No? Okay, let me figure this out. Okay, bear with me here. Share sound. Okay.
I don't know if anybody can hear us.
There we go. All right, here we go.
This is Atanur Dogan, founder and president of International Watercolor Society. We are very excited to celebrate 23rd of January, Global Watercolor Day, and we are happy. This is 13th anniversary of IWS, and happy Global Watercolor Day.
All right, I'm Ian Wright, president of IWS Canada. Happy World Watercolor Day from Canada.
Hi everyone, we are at Visual Arts Mississauga today, and from us and
the Mississauga Watercolor Society,
we'd like to wish you a happy
World Watercolor Day!
Happy World Watercolor Day from IWS Canada.
Hello. Hi everyone. I'm Luan Quach, Vice President of IWS Canada. Now today we have the privilege of speaking to
Sound okay?
a visionary leader, the legend in the art industry, Mr. Atanur Dogan, the founder of IWS.
I'm so nervous that I'm accidentally filming
Atanur
this.
Dogan's dedication has transformed the International Watercolor Society into a global movement uniting artists over 100 countries and showcasing the beauty and the versatility of the watercolor art. Now, through his leadership, IWS has not only celebrated the art form, but also the nurtured connections among artists, breaking down the cultural and geographical barriers. So join me to welcome Atanur Dogan. Welcome back. It's been a while.
Thank you for interviewing me. This is beautiful ordinary day in Canada under the snow, and I am very pleased to interviewing with you. Also, I would like to give special announcement. 23rd of January, Global Watercolor Day coming soon. Also, that day, IWS birthday, and happy Global Watercolor Day.
Happy World Watercolor Day. Over the past decade, you've been touring the world, and you've seen a lot. So can you tell us some of the global trends in watercolor and any specific preferences from different regions, and anything that we can take away from that?
Yes, thank you very much. This society, Global Watercolor Society, that gave me chance to travel all over the world and met all top master around the world too. And our leaders, IWS leaders, organizing festivals, biennial and exhibition. And that time also we are exchanging our ideas and sometimes also our artworks each other's. Our gathering bringing many good opportunity each other's, and we are learning from each other. After these decades, I saw that because of learning each other's, we start develop our technique lots more than where we live, whom we learn. Now everybody have, much rich technique and way they paint. So watercolor developing lots.
I got some question about the art contest. See, over the years, art contests could be good, but sometimes could be controversial because there was some concern about the fairness and transparency of the contest itself. So can you tell us, as organizers, what can we do better to ensure that transparency and fairness, as well as what advice would you give to the participants to enter those contests?
Yes, this contest is very touchy subject. Actually, it is very exciting bringing artists together or making some interesting excitement. So attaching with the real events like festivals and exhibition. I recommend all our contest organizer to organize this contest much transparent way. Much more judges, variety of the jury. Sometimes we had over 60 top master was, judging those contests. So far, IWS did very transparent contests, and we find many good painters we never know before, and those artists become well known now. So contest gave also some good movement for our society and network. These days, it's becoming much tricky because of those artificial intelligence, making some incredible thing. Those creations look like real watercolor, We should move more real contests. For online contests, also we should ask step-by-step photographs. Then we can find out this is real his or her work or not.
You've been around last few years. Watercolor has been going very strong.
Yes.
And what's the future of watercolor comparing to other medium, for example, oil or pastel and all that? What do you see?
Nobody interested in collecting watercolors, especially on the auction or on the museum. Difficult to see watercolor. But these days there is some museum open just for watercolor. Many artists now switch the technique to watercolor because no chemical, very natural medium, and they can paint any place, anywhere very easily. Now we learn many different ways creating watercolor, bringing artwork, some new ideas, new tests with watercolor medium.
Yeah, for those watching in front of camera now, the weather here is extremely cold. It's about -8 Celsius. And being near to Atanur, I can feel the energy and the warmth from him. So it's good. Atanur, then what is your vision for IWS for the next 5 years?
And I can see next decade much more bigger development, and we are growing lots with the IWS institution, all kind of gallery, museum, and art village joining with IWS network. And in next decades will be watercolor decades. Thank you very much.
For your time, right?
Thank you very much.
And thank you for being here with us in such a cold weather.
Yes, that's.
Show a few of Atanur's previous demos, live demos, and give you style.
can see. IWS Canada. Yeah.
Okay, let me see.
If you have other group, you know, it's good to send me.
Yeah. You mean the Zoom link? The Zoom link? introduce you. it's a whole other program. It's too much to do. Okay, so there you see the work by Atanur Dogan. We're very pleased to have him here live with us. He's been traveling the world for quite a while, a whole year pretty much. He's always going somewhere new. Where else? Turkey, of course. He hails his native country as Turkey.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ian Wright.
Okay, so that was Atanur Dogan's video demo. What was the name of that, Atanur? What was the name of that painting?
That painting, Turkish coffee scene.
Turkish coffee scene. Okay, so Turkish coffee scene. So just first of all, a big welcome to everyone for coming to our World Watercolor Day 2025. Thank you all for being here. Let's have a round of applause for everyone. And also to all the members who are live on Zoom watching right now, all across Canada. So as we move along, before we have the cake cutting, we're going to have some words from our IWS Globe President, Atanur Dogan. And then we'll have Luan Quach, our IWS Canada Vice President. I am Ian Wright, President of IWS Canada. So after Atanur's speech, we're going to have the cake cutting, and there's free coffee, free treats, all kinds of things. And we're very happy also to have Rockwell now joining us. We have Helen over here for all your watercolor supply needs. We highly recommend. The pigments are excellent, beautiful brushes, everything there. It's a great chance to get some great quality stuff for you. Okay, so moving along, here we have Atanur Dogan, the founder of IWS Globe.
Thank you, Ian. Yeah, hi everyone. You know, I am very happy to come back home because I had some long travels in China and then India and Nepal. Almost 2 months. I didn't come back to home. I have 2 homes. One is in Turkey, one is in Canada. But I'm very happy to be Canadian, and also I am very happy to, member of the IWS Canada, one of the oldest our registered society, IWS Canada. The first we registered IWS Turkey in 2012. 13 years ago. And since then, we have over 120 different branches and institutions. IWS is not just the society. We start with the society, but we become world's largest art network. Now we have watercolor museum, watercolor villages, and coffee galleries, and art studios, an art magazine, many more. So actually, we developed watercolor in Canada. We know Canadian people likes watercolor. Also, some of the world's oldest societies, watercolor societies, some of them in Canada and some of them is US. In North American artists, they like painting watercolors. So after our society, we find this society and network, watercolor become much popular all around the world. And one of the active society, IWS Canada, time to time, we are having some online contests with North American IWS societies, like Mexico and some American state societies. So we hope next decades we can develop more, and watercolor will be one of the most popular medium around the world because of the technique is very unique, very original and enjoyable technique. And no chemicals, no other artificial stuff, is artists able to express themselves very easily. and also watercolor artists most friendly. They gave their technique, their knowledge easily to others. That reason we have many good teachers teaching all around the world. So IWS Canada going to lead North Americans watercolor societies. And this is 30th anniversary. And also this anniversary, IWS birth date, 23rd of January, World Watercolor Days, Global Watercolor Days. We find out this is perfect time because IWS makes big change around the world. They made watercolor one of the most popular technique and recognizable technique in museum, in school, and some of the collections. Now, many more watercolor studios open and many galleries opening some watercolor exhibition more than before. So watercolor history is changing after IWS. That reason, 23rd of January, very important date for watercolor history. And we are happy to celebrate Global Watercolor Day in Canada. And also we are celebrating almost last group for celebration because rest of the world in Australia, New Zealand, and China, in Thailand, Vietnam, and India. India was also hosting general meeting, global celebration. And I woke up around 5 o'clock and I joined with them. And I saw many people around the world, they were connecting and showing their videos and their happiness about this celebration. So we are the last one. I know some people already seeing from the Zoom, or they will see how we celebrate. And thank you very much for all our leaders, especially Ian doing great job, one of our most active president, and also is spending crazy time creating IWS Canada magazine, which is very popular now. And people also other part of the world, they are watching. And also I would like to thanks to Luan. He is great painter, one of the best painters. And also I would like to thank our big sponsors, Rockwell, Canadian company. Always they are very generous about supporting all our events. And thank you also all our members. They are doing great job, each region, each our cities, and they are organizing also some events. And thank you again for creating this wonderful celebration. Thank you.
Okay, we have next Luan Quach, who's going to give a few words. And we're going to have the cake cutting, the official opening of the IWS Canada version of the 2025 World Watercolor Day. Here is Luan Quach.
Thank you. No one can beat his voice. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited being here celebrating the World Watercolor Day, 13th IWS. Fantastic. Well, it's been so incredible to watch how the IWS grow into this global community. So as the Vice President of this society, I'm super proud of being part of this supportive, creative family, and you all are the heart of the IWS, and your passion, your creativity have make this journey so special. So yeah, let's have fun celebrating, have fun painting. Happy World Watercolor.
Okay, we're going to be playing now a demo from Luan Quach. And for the local people here, feel free to try out some of the cake. We're going to have the cake cutting, and feel free to visit Milena over there at the Rockwell table. Lots of great stuff. And yeah, we're going to cut the cake first, and then we will play Luan's demo. So here we go. This is a very special cake that Luan has purchased.
Yeah, this cake is a little bit expensive. And I did give some instructions to the bakery how to design this. So you can't beat that, right? When you have white background, the letter in gold is gorgeous, right? So it says Happy World Watercolor Day 13th Anniversary IWS. And you know what? A milestone worth celebrating. And there's no one better than the one that who started off, right? Atanur Dogan, right? So join us to welcome Atanur Dogan to do the cake cutting. I like the order. Cut all together. It will be much meaningful. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Okay. We'll face this way, so camera. If you have camera, you know, appreciate that you also take a picture just in case that we don't have a good one.
Ja, ik zou het doen.
Make the first cut, right? And we, as a group, we say Happy World Watercolor Day, yeah, right? Oh, no, just symbolic. That's symbolic. Cut on center here. Let's hold together. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, Happy World Watercolor Day. Great. Yeah. Yes. Well, since the wrap protects the side, right? Now we remove the wrap and probably doesn't look as good.
Okay, everyone, you feel free to come up and grab a piece of cake. Sweets, coffee, some cheese, crackers, all kinds of things for you to enjoy. So come on up and help yourself. And in the meantime, we're going to be playing Luan's demo. He usually does portraits, but this time he's doing a landscape. So we're going to see Luan's skills in action, painting a landscape, a rural farm scene, I believe it is. So enjoy that while people in attendance are able to enjoy some delicious cake. We also have our cake left over from Rockwell on Sunday, which is also very tasty. So help yourself to whatever you like.
This video doesn't have voiceover, but it has all the caption. So have your cake, but don't fall asleep.
add some of the magazines and some catalogs, feel free to take over, look at it, and then discuss it. My project. Gallery.
the video is done, we're gonna all assemble at the front, get a group shot to share for the IWS community. So once it is done in 3 minutes, we're gonna take a group photo at the front. Okay, everyone. Everybody who wants to join us in our group photo. We're gonna have a group photo at the front of the room here.
As if this is
Group
akin
photo.
to our individual preferences for wine or toilet paper. This is
Group
not
photo.
a simple disagreement. It's you telling me values I've held dear my entire life have no meaning or place in the real world. This is you telling me that I should be shrewd, deceptive, cruel, and intolerant. This is you telling me that the type of person you really admire, look up to, is a rich,
Group
entitled,
photo to send out to the IWS Globe. All the other chapters
You're
from
one of those
around the
guys out
world.
there that likes Trump because, well, he says what's on his mind. He tells it like he said.
Yeah. It's but you're gonna.
are going to look like everybody.
Okay, 30 seconds. Seconds. Okay. So everyone send their greetings to IWS Globe, all the other chapters around the world.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, yeah, full bright, eh? So,
Yeah.
yeah. Just getting it right. The video.
So it's on all, yeah. I'm not sure what it's on, something standard.
Yeah. Oh my God. Is it? Yeah. It was a decaf pump. Oh, it was American decaf.
Go together. Short video. IWS Canada wishing happy Global Watercolor Day.
Good.
Huh? IWS Canada wishing happy Global Watercolor Day.
Yeah.
Yes. That's...
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Fire. You're the only one.
What we are going to say? What IWS Canada?
World Watercolor Day.
Yes. IWS Canada, wishing for everyone.
Wishing everyone a happy World Watercolour Day. Okay, photo.
Videoyu kolay çekecek. Is it video? Is it photograph? What do you know? I'm so sorry. We need talent. You should come. Watch everyone. Video.
Make a video.
They vote against pharmacare.
One more time. Just one more time.
Ready, action.
Come in this house and say, I'm not going to feed kids. I'm not going to give you any diabetic medication. And I don't care if you live in a tent. And not just that, Madam Speaker. Gross and sickening. The cons don't care about people. They voted against dental for seniors. They're voting against diabetic medication. Have any of these conservative
Okay, I'll put on my okay, everyone, next in our program. Okay. Next in our program, I have a demo, 20-minute demo. We're just reset up the projector here for those in attendance. I have a demo pre-recorded that we're going to play. For those in attendance, we have the Rockwell table, which is already very popular. We've got lots of cake left over, lots of chocolates, lots of cookies, lots of bubbly, lots of cheese and crackers and coffee, all kinds of things. So enjoy. Okay. That. Hi, everybody. I'm Ian Wright, President of IWS Canada. I'm going to show you today a player Connor Walton for the Windsor Spitfires. I'm going to show you how it's done from sketch to finished painting. Here we go. Now here's the subject matter for my painting, for my demo. It's black and white, so I can choose the colors. I'm not going to be distracted by what is there already. Very intent looking hockey player. And here was an earlier version I did as an example. Now this is just on sketchbook paper, so we'll see how this turns out on watercolor paper. Starting with a sketch. Now, when we start the sketch, we have to pay attention to the shape and where it's going to be placed on the paper. Now, you want to spend a lot of time measuring if you're not tracing. Some people can trace, and that's a whole other option for you. it's good to get some anchor points, such as the nose, the eye, and from there you can then reference where the rest of the features will go. So at this point, you're doing lots and lots of measuring. The nose to the eye, to the forehead, to the lips, to the chin. Just keep double checking your measurements are correct. At this point, you can still go back with the eraser and do it again. If you make a mistake at this point, it's easy to fix. You don't want to be fixing mistakes once you've laid down your paint. So you want to just keep referencing. Measuring with your pencil. Drawing continuous lines if that helps. Now extra little lines like the helmet, the chin strap, those aid in the finding of reference points. And think of it as in shapes. Focus on the shapes. You're not drawing a nose, you're not drawing an eye, you're drawing shapes within shapes. That makes the referencing much more easy. In the drawing of the shapes, you can see it as a three-dimensional object. Now just keep measuring, keep erasing if you have to, just make sure you get it right, and make sure you get the eyes right. That's the most important part. The most important part of this whole painting is that right eye. That's the first thing we're going to see when we see the painting. So now I'm laying down some masking tape to cover up areas I want to remain white. So that is the edge of the visor. I'll add a few highlights within the visor. Now these things I can just paint around, but it's good to have a backup in case you fill the area accidentally. Now the other options, you could use a liquid frisket. However, that can get messy. You've got to wait for that to dry. If you have a more organic line you're trying to create, that's a good idea. Leaves, flowers, things like that. In this case, it's a very straight line, inorganic line. So masking tape is good for that, to create a nice straight line. It's also good for buildings, the edge of a roof, sidewalk, anything that has to be inorganically straight. So now the first bit of pigment I'm laying down the brightest areas just to get those centered, get a focal point set up. Now sometimes I lay down a wash first, but in this case I'm going to go for a very striking color palette that will get people's attention. As you can see, the brightest colors are around the eye and the nose, the center points of the portrait. Well, there's less vibrant colors further to the right. Of course, anywhere there's more blood, like in the cheeks, that should have some nice bright red. And then the yellow to create a balance with that and create some highlights. Some nice cool cyan underneath the chin. If I get too much pigment, I'll go in with a dry brush and just absorb what is there. It's also good to have a paper towel handy. Now these cool colors, they will complement well the warm colors on the face. So I have these in the back of the helmet, the front of the visor, and a few little brush strokes further up. So the blue in the eye is a good complement to the magenta in the rest of the face. Now I put a little bit too much orange down there, so I just sopped it up with a paper towel. Now lower down, I want to get nice swooping brush strokes, very expressive brush strokes to make it look nice and loose. You don't want to overdo it in these areas that aren't the main focus of the painting. Now later on I will chisel out the background with a nice cool color to accentuate the warm. Here the warmest colors in the whole painting, the red jersey further down. And that's why I'm going to have a blue background to bounce with that red jersey. Now he plays for the Windsor Spitfires, which is a red jersey team. I'm going to include the lettering on the helmet, but very loosely. We don't want that to be the main focus. We don't want to spend too much time making anything look inorganic when our brushstrokes are very organic. Now I'm creating a water pool in which to add the paint. As you can see, as soon as I add the blue, it flows into the area where I laid down the wet water areas. And getting nice rich blue and chiseling out the features on the left-hand side. A few lines to create depth. Now these areas at the back, we really want them to recede into the background. So I've made them extra dark. Just the suggestion of an eye on the left as it's cut off by the visor. Now I'm going to let it dry a bit. A few bits of clear water for texture. Smooth out that wash a little bit. Now I'm going to get the hairdryer and speed up the drying process. Now I want to make sure it's extra dry before I do anything more with it. The next pass is going to be the more sharp brush strokes, the darker lines. Sharpen up the rest of the details. This is our final pass. This is where we really bring out the areas we want to have focused on. So I have a round brush with a nice point to it. It's got a nice springy quality to it, nylon synthetic. Nylon brushes are great at this stage because they will get a nice sharp tip and spring back. Generally hair brushes for the wash and nylon for the details. The hair brushes will carry more water for large washes, where the nylon brushes will have sharper tips for the details. So I'm going with my finger if I have to and smooth out the paint. It's a little bit too intense in one area. If I want to give it an organic look. I'm refining the line and the shadow, adding a few details. Now I just blotted out the bolts on the helmet because I don't want those as focal points. Those are just secondary details. The eyes is really our focal point. Now I'm getting a nice sharp edge on the visor. I don't want to go all the way around because we want a bit of a white edge to it as well. And the ear area, we don't want too much detail there. We're just suggesting the shape. And the hair as well. It's not very saturated at the back because we don't want to lose the attention of the face in the foreground. A few more extra details in the helmet. Again, we don't want to spend too much time on these because that's not the focal point. Just suggest the shapes. One nice thing with the chin strap is it guides the eye up towards the face. Just darkening the eyebrow a bit here. Adding a few more details on the cheeks, getting a bit more shadow, just to define them a bit more. Now the tonal values is really what I'm focusing on here. Don't think so much about the color, think of the tonal values. So some yellow highlight will go well with the blue, and to bring out the more reflective areas a bit more. A little bit of yellow in the top as well. You have to imagine that there's a light above his head. There I added the Windsor very loosely, just to suggest the team. A bit more definition on the chin. Since we have the light source from the upper left area, then that's going to have a shadow underneath there. Now going in once more, getting a nice dark chiseled silhouette around the face to really accentuate the features. And balancing that with some yellow, as we have yellow in the upper portion of the face. Few lines in the jersey. Balance out the yellows of the left side with a few on the right hand side. Loose suggestion of the rest of the visor. In the back here, it doesn't matter if it bleeds a little because we want this a bit blurry. It's not the focal point. This is a loose painting, so we don't need to illustrate every little piece of it. Now I'm just adding the final touches and the signature to finish it off. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed this demo of Connor Walton of the Windsor Spitfires portrait in watercolor. So there you have it. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you learned something, and we'll do more of these shortly. So see you next time.
I'm just on the phone.
Oh, Lorraine. Okay, we just had Lorraine Simonds join us now. What time is it now? Can you hear me, Lorraine? Because Lorraine, if you wanted to do your demo, you could do it right now, in fact. We're going to have the members' choice vote. Everyone hear me?
Hi. Can you hear me?
Everyone hear me okay? Okay, thank you. Thanks for coming. Okay, can everyone hear me? Oh my. Screen might be here. Okay. So, Lorraine, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay, Lorraine, do you want to do your demo now, or do you want to do it after the Members' Choice Contest, or even later? Because we're a bit ahead of schedule, so we could do it earlier if you like.
Oh, I'm super easy. I'll just need 1 hot minute. I've just
Sure.
a workshop.
Do you want to? We'll have the Members' Choice vote at the moment, and then we can switch over to you.
I'll just need to set up my camera and
Sure.
so
Okay, let's do it. How about in 10 minutes at 3 o'clock?
Sounds amazing.
Okay, all right. We're gonna do the Members' Choice vote. Okay, everyone in the live chat here, we're gonna do the Members' Choice vote. Has everyone seen the link to the 3D gallery? I will remind everyone of the link here. Everyone's milling about now locally, so Rockwell's doing some good business. And I'll share with you guys the link in the chat. Where is it? Okay, so everyone, have a look at that if you haven't seen it already. I'm going to give you a minute. We have a local contest with IWS Canada, so we have a bit of time. But yeah, I could show it on the screen here. And then we have Lorraine Simonds in DC. She's going to do a live demo. So then we're going to turn the lights off and we're going to show it properly in 10 minutes or so. Okay, so I will share my screen and I will show you the painting. So everyone get ready to vote. Okay. Okay, have a look here, everyone. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, everyone, we'll have one more round of this. Keep in mind your favorite painting because we're going to vote after this round. We're going to vote in the chat on Zoom. You can see the name of the painter in the top right corner. So if you haven't already chosen based on the 3D gallery, then pick your favorites in this carousel of images. And we're going to be changing around the lineup a little. We're going to have Milena at the end. We're going to have Lorraine coming up next as she's almost ready to present her live demo. Now, the winner of this Members' Choice Contest will win a wonderful set of paints from Rockwell, blueberry paint. So we will send that to whoever the lucky winner is. They'll receive it by mail. I see the BC chapter is setting up. We have Chris and Celinda and Esme ready to go. And don't forget, everybody, name your files. We had quite a few files unnamed. Just makes for extra work for us, so we appreciate it very much when your files are named with your name and the title of the paint. And once again, we are very pleased to announce Kathy and Marcia, our new Quebec area reps. They've been doing a great job in Montreal with their Aquarelle DC outings and get-togethers. Okay, there we go. Let's stop it there. Okay, so our members on Zoom, get ready to vote. Go to the chat on Zoom, and we want to see what your favorites are. List the name of the painting and the title, or I guess just the name because the title is not always obvious. Okay, there we go. Okay, we have one for Natalia. That one by Salduto. Yeah, that's a good one too. I like that one. Yeah, okay. One for Anthony. Hold on a sec. Natalia, one. Anthony. Okay, hold on. One for Natalia, one for Tracy Lee. How's the day one? The Linda one. Natalia's was the first one for Kathy, so that's 2 for Natalia. 2 for Anthony. Esme gets 1. 2 for Esme. For Azadeh, One for Linda. For Liliane. Natalia. Natalia's winning at the moment. Okay, any more votes? Anthony? Natalia? Okay, Natalia and Anthony are neck and neck. I think Natalia's got one extra, yeah. Natalia 4, 3 for Anthony. Any more votes? Give it 2 more minutes and we'll close the voting. One more for Natalia. Natalia's in the lead. I'll give it 1 more minute. We have Natalia in the lead with 5 votes. Anthony bringing up number 2. And then Tracy Lee, Azadeh, Melinda, Esme, and Celinda, and Liliane Loponen, all with 1 and 2 respectively. Give it 1 more minute. I'll just borrow this for a second. I'm just going to show them. Okay, this is the prize. The Rockwell Blueberry Paint. Okay, we're going to call it. The winner of this edition of our Members' Choice Contest is Natalia Utkina. Congratulations to Natalia Utkina. She has won a Rockwell. Oh, wow. Rockwell Blueberry goes to Natalia Utkina, winner of the Rockwell Blueberry set, with Annie Salduto coming up number 2. Honorable mention to Tracy Lee, Azadeh Melinda, Esme Celinda, and Liliane. Thank you, everyone, for entering our Members' Choice Contest. And hope you join our next one, which is coming up in our next magazine, our spring issue of our IWS Canada magazine. Stay tuned for that. That's the next project on the burner. And we'll have Natalia choose the theme for our next Members' Choice Contest. So we're going to move on now to Lorraine, if she's ready. Okay, Lorraine, are you ready?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Amazing.
Okay, let me introduce you properly here. Hold on a sec. Where are you now? I'm going to feature you. Oh, here we go. Let me get everyone's attention here because they're all milling about. Okay, I'm gonna give you the spotlight.
Oh, fantastic. Do you have my overhead? I have an overhead camera also logged in.
No, I don't see it. Do you have another
Lorraine's,
I see it.
Lorraine's iPhone. There you go.
Add spotlight. I'm gonna move my spotlight. Okay.
Awesome.
All right. A sec, let me introduce you here. All right. All right, everyone. We have a very special event right now. We have Lorraine Simonds now tuning in from BC. She's our BC area rep, and she's very notable now in the watercolor scene. She has a new set of paints now available from Rockwell. She's an excellent artist, excellent watercolor painter, and she's going to be giving us a live demo here. So I'm going to dim the light and have a look. She's here live, so she's available for questions if needed. And all right, take it away, Lorraine.
Thank you so much, Ian. It's an absolute joy to meet up with you guys. Yeah, what a way to celebrate. Okay, please interrupt me with all of your questions. Otherwise, I'm monologuing and I haven't been on a while, but I was teaching a pet portrait workshop earlier this morning, so I just got off it, but it's an absolute joy to be with you. I thought today it would be fun just to do, I wasn't sure how much time I had, so I thought we'd just do a quick monochrome workshop, but it maybe incorporates a lot of my, I don't know, my style in here and a little bit about how I think about things. So I decided to, I'm probably do this close-crop portrait of Rick the Muse here. He's very notable on as a good muse for many artists due to his very expressive qualities. He does take a lot of photos. And so today I'm going to be using lapis brown. Lapis brown is one of if anyone knows me, is my favorite color from Rockwell. It's their mineral pigment from their Magic collection, but it does granulate to these beautiful ultramarine colors and almost like a burnt sienna or burnt ochre tone there. And so for a monochrome photo or painting, it just makes it a little bit more fun. And as well, if there are members here that love to just loosen up and I always find that doing a monochrome painting that has a lot of fun ability to granulate and create watermarks, just a really nice way to just kind of loosen up.
Yeah, she won by a lot. Yeah. Oh, I don't mute my mic.
And so what I'm gonna so normally when I'm doing a portrait, I normally do like a single wash, but for this because the focal points is for me mainly in the eyes and the anchor points of his face. I really want to keep those really sharp for now. And so I'm gonna probably go in there with go in there by themselves and then with a little bit more detail. And then we'll move along. Yeah. Okay. So I did get a good fresh squeeze out of this pigment here. And I'm probably just going to go straight in with the eyes. One thing that I've been told or come to understand is the way I paint tends to lean towards a little bit more gestural. And so I really tend to think about how something feels and weighs when I paint them. The top of the iris is normally a little bit darker because it is cast in a shade of the eyelashes there. So do tend to keep those parts darker. I normally do work with a clean brush in my hand to bleed the pigments out. And I'm always thinking about hard edges and soft edges. I'm going to let that dry a little bit and I'm going to lift out a little highlight with my brush there. And I'm going to go into the iris here. It's funny, I've kind of almost been inadvertently thrusted into a career into painting and being an artist only as recently as in the last 3 months or so. I've for a long time have had a career in hospitality in an executive position in branding and marketing, and so as well as working all the different departments. So I'm just using a thirsty brush just to lift out that highlight there in the eye. And I think while I'm here, I'm just gonna slightly bleed out that top edge into the eyelid. And so with that background and some studies in biblical counseling, I do have everything it has ascribed meaning to it, from the gesture of your strokes to the pressure, how something feels and weighs and moves. So those are kind of little things that I have in the back of my head when I'm painting. You can already see how beautiful, if anyone's familiar with Rockwell paints, just how those colors are just separating and granulating as we speak, forming these beautiful lines. So from that, I am going to move out to the other areas of the eye. And I think as we're just doing a value study, we're really just thinking about laying down those where it's really dark. And then what I tend to do is with another brush in hand, which I'm going to need to grab a larger brush shortly, is saying kind of, am I in the right area here? I think I need to go a little higher. There we go. I'm laying in those dark tones. And then I do tend to use a brush to soften and bleed out where it's soft and harder. In a case where I'm using a little bit more color, what I do tend to do is I put the colors down and allow a clean water brush just to connect everything together. Ian, if you're still there, just curious, how much time do I have? Because I was kind of anticipating like a half an hour or an hour. I wasn't really sure, but
yeah, just take all the time you need. We have in this location until 3:30, but you can keep going because we have our people online. So just take all the time you need.
Oh, amazing. It's been really fun. Well, it's been really, so anyway, so as I'm trying to juggling life, excited to explore more plein air with the BC crew this year, led by Chris. I'm so thankful for her. As I'm kind of stepping in, trying to fill some very large shoes that Celinda has left for the BC crew there, but really excited to join some plein air sessions with everybody. Trusting that there's lots that I can also learn from you. Also have coming up in next year some plein air sessions that I was invited to in Italy. So there's a 6-day retreat that I'm planning for and doing some workshops in. So Italy is one of my favorite countries, so it's pretty exciting to perhaps return there. Yeah, so as I'm going through here, I'm just laying in what is dark, and then I'm always thinking about bleeding things out and connecting the shapes of what is dark and what is light and what is hard and what is not. And I think once I lay down all of these parts that kind of just map out the larger focal point of the face, I think this is when I'll just get a much larger brush and fill in those larger parts. Oh, I think I'm echoing from somewhere. I don't think that's me though. Some of you may find, like me, that watercolor is a little bit of a game of contrast, and so I really like to vary between making sure that there's areas where there's like a little bit more tighter detail and areas which are a little bit loose. Is anyone else picking up a little bit of distortion? I don't think that's me. I have both of my mics, well, only one mic on, so. If you ever see me painting a portrait with that's a little bit more fuller, I will also have 2 brushes at hand nearly all times. Let me think. Okay, I think that's probably enough for the eye before I'm getting too crazy caught up. I'm just going to move over to the nose here. I'm not sure how many of you are. Oh, is it Mary? I don't want to pick on people. I think, oh, there we go. I think that there we go. I don't know how many people are into portraiture, but for me, I find that if you can get the anchor points right, and anchor points for those who may not be as familiar with portraiture tend to be the eyes, nose, and mouth. It's a little bit like looking at an electrical plug. When you look at it, your face kind of makes your brain makes a face out of that, 3-pronged plug there. And so just like in portraiture, if you can get the nose and eyes in proportion, everything else, you will be able to carry the likeness of that person. Just doing a little bit of negative edge work as we build into the pipe. This brush is probably a little bit smaller than I would like, but as many of you will know, you can always use the side of your brush, not just the point. This edge is exciting. I'm going to keep this loose, pull pull this color down here and into here. Oh, and I thought one exciting thing I could do, well, I don't know how exciting it'll be. It's kind of exciting for me. I was just gonna maybe do some lifting techniques. Like there's no smoke in this photo, but I do like using an eradicator brush, or like it's a little flat tip brush like this that's synthetic, and I find it's wonderful for lifting out, and especially when you're using a mineral pigment like lapis brown, it tends to lift really nicely, and you can get some really sharp highlighty lifty marks from there. I think so. Those are the kind of the key areas which I want to keep really sharp for now. In my first wash, you can already see like how the paint is separating there. I can move this a little closer if you want and obstruct my face. You don't need to see my face. And I can also put a light on if it's easier. I had it off my other one. Is that better for you guys? Okay, so now that we have this, I think I'm gonna just move up into a larger brush and just get some of that big work done here. So again, I do tend to have one brush that carries the pigment, and then a water brush that bleeds everything out. In order to create highlights, I will sometimes lift with a wet brush, or I can lift with my eradicator or brushes. It's funny when I think about my art journey, because when I was a high schooler, which is probably the most of where I got any of my art education, had an incredible high school teacher. I went to an all-girls grammar school back in England, and felt like we were really fortunate to have life models in our class. It was quite interesting being a teenage girl and having a naked man in the room and having to draw him. But at one point of my life, being a portrait artist was like my high school dream. And so after I went to university for it, the school that I went to was very much more into the conceptual arts. So we had a lot of postmodern philosophy. We did all the history of art and everything. And by the end of it, what I concluded from what they made much of at the time was like the kind of the red brick in a white room kind of conceptual art. So I ended up not doing any painting or drawing or sculpting during my my university years. Went into more painting and animation and performance art, and it wasn't necessarily skilled work or aesthetic, beautiful work, but whatever happened to me in university, it made me steer away from wanting to do have anything to do with the arts for 16 years. So 16 years I did no painting or drawing, and only really picked up painting with watercolor 4 years ago. And so as I've been reacquainted with the creative side, I've developed a new appreciation for the importance and the value of the aesthetic and the beautiful in a way that was almost robbed of me during my university years, and an understanding of the human's inherent need for beauty, and what there are like studies even what the absence of beauty can do to people, and the mindset I'm just dropping in all of this color into this wet blob right here and letting it fuse. And you probably can see I'm using the side of my brush a little bit more as I'm trying to cover up more area. It gets even darker still. Let me get my bearings. Right here is super dark, so one thing there we go. Yeah, the importance of beauty. And when you look at how they used to make even lampposts in the early 1900s to how they make lampposts now, everything used to be made with a sense of craftsmanship and quality, which is one of the reasons why I love Italy. There's still a sense of craftsmanship and beauty there. But looking at beauty, looking at things beautiful that don't require anything of the person other than to enjoy it from a distance. It releases all kinds of crazy chemicals in your brain and serotonin. They've done some incredible studies in Japan with that in plants. And yeah, there's definitely a value and importance to what we get to participate here in at IW Canada, where we get to infuse our lives and other people's lives with beautiful things in the way that we see it. All of us are really distinct, and so it's really cool to think that we all have our own perspectives and things to bring to the table, and how we're all uniquely wired, that there's enough space for all of us to participate in the arts and celebrate one another without necessarily feeling competitive, which I'm also really guilty of. I'm pretty competitive in nature. It's not necessarily wrong to be competitive, but when it enters into that realm of jealousy, I think, yeah, I need to watch myself, right? So just adding things as they're dark here. I hope you can see. I mean, I'm sure many of you, as there's so many very seasoned artists here in IWS that but they're just dropping it in. But when you're working with that monotone, especially in a really fun pigment like this lapis brown, it's just really easy to really loosen up if that is what you want to do, and just to see what the watercolor does and how the watercolor interprets that image. Oh, I'm just seeing the chat now. Is everyone seeing the painting well enough now that I zoomed in? Is that fine for you, Margaret? As I wait for the reply. So another thing that I'm also really conscious of as I'm painting things like as you know, as things are closer to you, the higher contrast it is. As there's like a white ball and a black ball, and there's this white ball and black ball move away, there's going to be less contrast in between the two. And so something else that I try to pay attention to when I'm doing a portrait like this. So not only is this further away, but this can be softer, a lot looser, and a lot lighter in value. And again, it's gonna hit it up. It's a little bit darker there. Again, just can't help but have. It's almost like water becomes like its own pigment, and just letting the colors and the pigments fuse in by themselves. I think it needs to be a little over there, but then my poor pup, I did take her out this morning and gave her a good play. She's been in her crate for the last, oh gosh, 3.5 hours. I've been trying to. She's a high energy Rottweiler. My first Rottweiler was super chill. She's just she was an absolute potato, but this one, she's a working dog, and so I definitely need to get her out. So she's keeping me under the gun, which is fine because as she does, it will force me to think about what to edit out and keep in a lot quicker, which is another reason why I'm very excited to do a little bit more plein air this year. I just got my plein air ESO that came in through the mail yesterday. It's still a bit too chilly. I think it's like -2 outside right now, so I'm not too super stoked on the idea of venturing out quite yet. Dropping in the water, and then what are we going to do? I don't know about you, but I think hands can sometimes be intimidating. Sometimes just doing a quick value study can ease that off as you just think about shape and value. I'm probably going to do a second pass, so I'm going to grab the hairdryer in 1 hot minute and deal with that. Let me just see what we got here. See, I feel like his finger is a supporting character. I haven't shown too much care, but his hand is just a supporting character in this art, so I don't want to necessarily draw too much focus and attention on it. I spent a lot of my formative years in learning watercolor with Jean Haynes in her art school, which I found super helpful. She definitely imparts onto her students the importance of feeling the subject as you're painting, considering the texture of it, or at least maybe I have expounded on that a little bit more to consider the movement and the weight, the energy it carries. And so those are likewise, my brushstrokes can seem very impetuous, and they are, and sometimes I let that go, just knowing that's the energy. I don't mean that in a kind of not energy in a kind of spiritual, metaphysical sense, but just energy in the terms of, is it moving? Is it still? Is it is it happy? Is it joyful? Like, and trying to translate that through my brushstrokes. There's also that element of spontaneity where the water bleeds as blooms that can form, and I'm one of those artists that embraces the blooms and enjoys that aspect. Okay, I think we should just go right into there. I think we can do the hat really quickly as well. I do think about the direction of my brushstrokes, so I want to move with the form and the contour of the figure here, and even imply a little bit of the texture. Again, just getting my brush and running it through. Allowing the water to work with the pigment to form that texture. It really is quite the honor to be able to demonstrate with you guys this morning, not just because as much as I would love to be in Mississauga or out east to be with you, but just knowing that there are so many fantastic artists and painters in this group, and myself being relatively quite young and new to it. really honored by the generosity and the kindness in this community. So thank you for that. Going to bring this just a little bit darker right here. Something else that some things that I like working in black and white, it just almost feels like you're working in like charcoal or something when you do that, but just a lot more of a fluid version of it. Just lay down that chunks of color so you can see, even though this is a pretty small brush, you can really lay big marks. I tried to not what's the word? Oh gosh, my brain is glitching. Where I can, when it comes to, I'll try to leave as few marks as possible. There are many amazing, incredible realism watercolor painters that will almost color in their have a coloring in style where there's like lots of back and forth, and that's totally fine. That's that has its own value and worth and place and merit. But where I can, I do like to keep those big kind of fluid parts, right? I just find those, for me, that's fun. I think as I just take a step back, I probably need a little bit more depth right in here just to kind of really close him in. And it almost comes from, I'm going to bring it a little bit higher because I feel like he's escaping out too much off the side. I almost think this is dry enough, okay, to give this a quick blow dry, and then we're probably just going to need a second pass, and then I'll call that done. I'm going to mute this so I can spare all your eardrums. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. It's almost dry. I didn't have any questions. It's such a quiet group. Normally I don't mind monologuing, but I've been monologuing a lot. I'm just saying this paper is fluid, just regular. It's actually just a kind of a cellulose wood pulp paper. I normally work on cotton, but if you're looking for like an economical kind of paper that, you know, or practice paper, I find that this is a great paper. Like it really, for me, it fooled me. I thought it was cotton, but it's not. And it seems to absorb water really well. It works really well. Okay. So now that I kind of made my big marks, the big floaty ones, I think I can just come in and hone down on some of the darks and details of where I don't think I need to do too much because I think overall it reads okay. And then I'll just show you some lifting techniques that you can do, which I'm pretty sure many of you probably already know, but just in case, I'm just going to try and make some smoke come out of his pipe for fun. Oh, this is still wet. That's okay. All right. So with a smaller brush here, I'm just getting almost a kind of cream consistency of paper, not paper, paint. And as many of you know, it's where the lightest lights hits the darkest darks that you tend to get your area of, is where your eye tends to focus in on. I do have a little bit of photography, background. And so I'm always thinking about when I was exploring photography, when I discovered the Nifty 50 is a 50mm camera of a 1.4 aperture, and that wide aperture, how it kind of creates these beautiful, soft, short depth of field focuses. That was when I fell in love, and I was just and so I think that kind of carries with me through my portraiture in terms of thinking about what is the focal point. Apparently my mother as well, she was one of the people that kind of, when I was in my formative years, taught me how to draw. And so she would also kind of drill into me like, what, not everything can be in focus, like not everything is as important as one another. It's why I don't like those high definition TVs. Whenever I go to like London Drugs or something, I just cannot handle looking at those TVs. Like everything is in focus. I just don't know what to look at, and I get overwhelmed. And so for me, I try to pick what is interesting to me, and then everything else is just not like blah, but you know, blah. It's just not that important. And so I think in those areas of blah where you can allow that mystery to unfurl and let those bits of watercolor do its thing, that's part of the magic of watercolor for me, and image making. Gonna add a little bit more here to just bring out the kind of roundness in his face. I don't want to draw too many hard lines in these areas. I mean, they should be sharp, but I say should, but I mean should in relativity to my style. I can probably bring this out a little bit deeper and darker. When drawing lines on a face, I think it's always good just to kind of keep little gaps in those lines, because if you're drawing too many hard lines in a face and without those little gaps, it does tend to make that it can look too hard, or too can kind of prevent the subject from moving. Hard lines tend to constrain a subject, and broken lines can help a subject appear more lively and moving. So something else just to think about when you're painting anything you're painting. Adding a couple of lines just to add texture, but not too much. I'm always thinking about the direction of my brushstrokes, even with trying to move it in accordance to the facial planes and the movement of the subject. So I try to move my brush in accordance to that. Sometimes I think it's more important for me in my style to move that brush in accordance to how it feels more than what it looks like. I my work can be seen to be sometimes somewhat impetuous or even sloppy, and I'm totally okay to hold that title. I think that's just that's a part of my style. I think a part of it is also not caring too much. I'm not a neat and tidy person. Although when I talk to my husband, I'd like him to be. I want to bring out the ridges in his eye, face shape there. So I'm going to highlight that. Actually, since this brush is actually getting a little bit dry, we could also do some dry brushwork as well. I'll often do a value study. Maybe not this detailed, but anytime I address a portrait, it's always nice to do one. I find that in those times, I can just get a little bit more loose, a little bit more gestural in how I approach the painting. And sometimes doing a study like this will help me gain not just momentum, but and confidence, but some ideas on how I want something to move into the painting. I do favor Kolinsky's because they are soft and they do carry a lot of water. Gonna work in some texture here. And a little bit of brushwork in between. That can allow the water to connect and soften some of those lines. I do like making things indistinct. Just helps. I know what to focus on and what not to. I think I need to do something underneath this chin right here. Your brush can move in all different directions, so the more ways you can figure out how to move your brush, the pressures that you can move your brush in, the more you're going to be able to it's almost like increasing your vocabulary on paper. If brushwork is important to you. I mean, I only know what I know. I'm sure there's a lot more to brushwork than that. But that's why we need each other. There's so many things that I don't know that you guys do, and sharing those things with one another is what keeps everything fresh and exciting. Okay, where are we now? Well, I think I mean, in general, yeah, I think we kind of got some little key points here. Let's have a look at that pipe. Just bring a little bit more contrast there to bring him out forward. Okay, I'm gonna maybe start winding this down here. So that's probably how you could start doing one of these if you wanted to. One thing that you could also do is once it's all dry, and I think this is dry enough for me to demonstrate, but you could also, love that little watermark there. I don't want to disrupt him, but maybe we will. Which way should we go? We can go this way. Let's grab a little bit of paper towel here as we go. And I'm just gonna change over to a bigger brush. Just gonna suggest smoke coming from his pipe and break up some chunks of stuff. I don't know if that reads well, but as smoke, but I like to do this for if I'm doing something like someone sitting for, if you have like a painting a cup of coffee, just want to add a little bit of movement. You could probably do some studies on how steam rises off beverages, or you know, when you're boiling some water or something. But there you go. That's just something you can add into your tool belt there, if that's helpful. But I might actually think it's best sometimes with smoke, it has to come right in through here. There you go. Yeah. Thanks for your time and attention, everyone. That's really generous of you. Hopefully there was something that you could, I don't know, that might have been interesting for you. Ian, I'm going to throw it back to you.
Okay, thank you, Lorraine.
100%.
Thank you for that excellent demo. We're all closing up here in Mississauga. We have Helena from Rockwell. She's on her way out. Can you hear her okay? I think it may be on me. Oh. Okay, just waving. Hello. It's okay. Okay, that was Helena from Rockwell saying goodbye. Thank you, Lorraine. I don't know if you heard or not. She said, thank you, Lorraine, doing great work, and thank you for the great demo. And, oh, Jerry Nickel is here in the waiting room. Okay, so we're finishing up our activities here in Mississauga. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in to World Watercolor Day. We have one more demo coming up. We have Milena Guberinic. We're going to be playing her, and then Chris Osenstad is going to take over the feed after that. We're going to pass off the mic to her, and she can go on any detail what's going on in Vancouver. So I'm going to put on. We kind of got the things backwards here. We were going to have Lorraine at the end, but she was ready earlier. So now we have Milena to finish off the World Watercolor Day. So yeah, I'm going to continue packing here. It seems they haven't kicked us out yet. So yeah, light lifting for Chris to finish this off. So we've got Milena's. I'll be airing this right now. And for our last live demo of World Watercolor Day 2025. Go. Okay. And I'll share this.
Hi there, my name is Milena and I'm a Serbian-born
Everybody
artist
here?
and illustrator living in Canada. Thank you for joining me in this demonstration as part of IWS Watercolor Day.
Everyone
See you
hear it
there.
okay? Yeah?
Hello and welcome to my studio. So today I'll be showing you how one of the ways that I would approach a male portrait in profile. This is sort of a sketchy sort of painting. And I'm doing it in a Stillman and Burn Beta Series paper, which is a cellulose paper that is very smooth, so almost like a cellulose hot pressed paper. Because it is such a paper, it tends to make it very easy to form a lot of blooms, and it tends to hold on to edges. So it can make it challenging to get smooth washes and smooth gradations of color. So this is a bit of a challenging paper to work on, but it can also be very fun. I like the way that skin can look on this paper. I like the translucency that can be achieved, as well as the blooms and some of the edges that might seem not entirely pretty, but I don't necessarily like pretty, so I like a bit of ugliness. So the way that I paint is generally to start with whatever my focal point is going to be. So I do this because I find that if I focus on finishing all the rest of a painting and then get to the most important part and ruin it, I will have wasted many hours. And I'm not keen on wasting time. I don't have a lot of time. So, I mean, we're all busy, but I'm quite limited in my time. So I tend to prioritize the important area of the painting and then work out from there. And the way that I paint is, I suppose it can be a bit of a challenge because it's quite fast, and it involves basically weaving together the entire wash, which is very sort of micro adjusting colors within the wash. So there are basically a rainbow of colors in any little shape that I make, and throughout that large wash. And so the way that I generally work is I start from one area and then I make shapes that reflect the anatomy that's underneath and adjust them for color and value as I go. Here you can see that variety of color. And I tend to use color as value, for its value. You can see that I've started off with 4 large sort of wells of mixed color. Those are not pure colors, they're all a little bit mixed. They might appear as pure colors on your screen. I'm not sure what your screen looks like. You know, the screen settings are just so different on any screen that I look at. It looks completely different. So, you know, the reality of it is that those colors are quite different. They're mixed, they're slightly desaturated, and I will further mix them on the paper. The mixtures for skin tones are a red and a yellow and a complement, so that could be a blue, a green, or a violet. In this case, I'm using blues and a little bit of green, which is mixed from the blues. So in general, when I'm painting, I like to have a minimum of layering and a sort of, I've always been taught, or at least when I started to paint, I was taught, particularly when I started in Japan in Sumi, you know, 1 stroke is better than 2, 2 is better than 3, minimum of strokes is better than more. So I've always tried to get everything down in as little layering as possible. And so that's my general idea and approach. Sometimes, particularly in lighter skin tones such as this gentleman here, that can be a challenge because the skin tone is so light. It's difficult to get enough structure into it and enough value variation into it. That's very subtle value variation in the single layer. So you'll see that in this particular case, what I'll be showing you is really the first wash that I do. And then further, I will continue to work on it further just to refine some of the subtle value shifts and structure within the face. So you can see the sheer variation of color here. We go from a quite saturated red to a slightly desaturated red to a cooler blue, and then a more maroony color. All of these are mixtures from the same sort of 3 or 4 colors of a red, a pink, a yellow, and a blue. The blues I use are a variety of blues again. I have some lighter, some darker. You can, in fact, get a lot of different colors into your painting or into your portrait by ensuring that you don't sort of overmix them together. So here I'm inserting the hair. The hair, I like to weave into the rest of the wash while it's still wet. I don't like certain things, there's certain things that you don't like as well. And as you paint, you'll discover what you do and what you don't. But just for my own personal taste and the way that I have been brought up, I don't like a lot of little lines or busyness or that kind of nonsense. So I avoid it. I like a nice wash. Okay. And nice to me is again a relative term because what's nice to me might not be nice to you. So here we go, going around the nose. There might be a little bit where I skipped through. There's a bit of a malfunction. But softening a little bit of those edges. There we go. So I took a little break and I'm back. Here you see the importance of not drawing anything all the way through. I don't like to draw little lines that go all the way through. I like to have broken forms. And you'll see at this point, this is all very pale. So I'm sort of working on the kind of, I suppose, the shadow of the face. So if you look at the face in, or the reference photo, in this case, he is lit from the front. And so the parts that I'm painting are all the areas of the face that are in shadow. And those are helping me to define the form from the get-go. And then, so really backwards of the way that you would normally paint, I define those shadowy areas, and then I'll add a sort of light area wash in the next stages. Here I am cleaning out my palette. So once you see your mixing wells getting contaminated, things not looking quite clean, you need to make sure that you clean out your palette. One of the biggest dangers of working in watercolor is to have your colors become contaminated or become unsure of what you're dipping into and what you're putting down on your paper. So if you want to have clean, fresh color, you need to use clean, fresh color at all times. And that might mean wasting some paint. So I know that it really depends on what your attitude is towards color, how important it is to you. Sometimes I add a lot of color into my faces, and I want that color to look like color rather than just sort of a murky value. And so it's important to me that the colors stay pure. If you want to take a more traditional approach and have more of a value-based painting, it's obviously absolutely fine to have a mixture. And of course, I will do that in my own work or when I'm teaching. I absolutely will teach all the ways of doing things. It's just in my personal sort of style and approach, this is the case. And this again is more of a simpler, sketchier piece without any background, which I generally prefer, actually. I like the face to speak for itself. It is the story. I'm darkening some of those areas, so I want to make sure I have those darker areas and the shadowy areas defined properly before I add that lighter wash that I'm going to do after the demonstration is complete. And I'm doing that in a sort of mixed violet tone. Mixed it from the colors that I used in that first wash. And you'll notice that I'm holding my brush quite close to the ferrule when I'm doing these drawing parts, and was quite far from the ferrule when I was doing that initial lay-in. It was quite towards the back of the handle, which helps to keep you loose. Obviously, if you don't have a lot of practice, that just can make you mess. But once you've had, once you've sort of started to practice that idea and made plenty of messes, you start to get more and more precise with it. And obviously, understanding how to draw and understanding the structure of the face is very important to get any sort of precision. So this is a bit of a challenge here because I'm quite far away from this, even though you will see my head in, I'm far away, and this is a very small eye, so it's difficult, but I'm forging ahead here, just adding some folds and creases to the eye. Some of those darker areas that will define some of the structures that surround the face and the bottom plane of the nose. Here I'm just eliminating some of the light, little bits of light in the hair. I don't want to draw attention to that area. And so any of those whites of the paper that have remained there, I want to mask them. And you can do that just by sort of a slightly wet brush, applying it to the hair, and then just softening it. Or you can add more paint to that area. Here I'm adding a little bit more structure into the face, so with a very light wash, my monitor screen is set to a very sort of washed out sort of setting, so it's hard to see this for me, but what you should see in reality is that I've added a sort of light wash to the lights to define the structure of the face. I continue to do that with a second wash, and I continue to add structure in that second wash using a sort of skin-like color throughout the entire rest of the painting. And I use it to define the structure of the face. Here I'm adding the underplane of the jaw and the back of the jaw, which I'm doing in this kind of purpley color. Again, I've decided that there's a lot of blue in the environment, and so this purpley color is a sort of dark version of that blue. And that these strokes are helping me to define those planes of the face. So this is just about close to where I stop with the demonstration, but I do go on with the painting, and you will see the end of it. As I said, I apply another wash where, so this is the sort of the darker areas, the shadowy areas on a very light skin tone, and then I apply another wash where I apply those lighter areas with structure, and obviously give him more of a skin tone because there's a lot of just white in his skin right now. I'm going to be washing over that. So this is a sort of backwards portrait painting with my sort of signature color spotting. And there we go. So you will see a slide of the finished painting that I've worked on some more. There you go. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again soon.
Okay, thanks everyone. Thanks for tuning in. That's the end of our World Watercolor Day extravaganza. And from Luan and I, until next time, have a great evening, everyone. And happy World Watercolor Day 2025. See you soon.
Happy Global Watercolor Day to everyone.
Happy Watercolor Day, everyone. Thank you. See you soon.
Thank you, Ian.